Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Peace Dealer, and I hope you are excited about these times. I'm thinking about how iconic we are to be in this area. We're literally, as I like to think, by the way, Moon in Aquarius, Sun in Pisces, this is entering into the 12th house balsamic phase signature, the very last part of the cycle. Of course, mathematically, the sun is 27 degrees and Mercury is 29 degrees Pisces, motherfuckers. Ooh, ooh, the astrology, bro. The astrology, bro. Oh, I can't believe this is happening. 29 degree Mercury, sextile 29 degree Pluto. Like, if you're an astrologer, you fucking know what's up. You fucking know what's up right now. In fact, shout out to the motherfucking astrologer. If you're an astrologer watching this, God fucking bless you. If you're a prophet, if you're an astrologer, God bless you. I don't think you know how important and valuable you are as an existence. Okay? It's really sad that children all over the globe are not taught this shit in schools, and that self-proclaimed scientists and scientists who have been awarded with degrees and accolades, I'm not going to discredit the work that they've done, but just looking at the education system and how this is just barely coming out. Don't ever, whether you're a tarot reader, a healer, or an astrologer, a kinesiologist, shit, even if you're an engineer, but this one for my astrologers, don't let anyone ever undermine you and what you do. We don't have research institutions like lawyers and doctors and other fields do. So, like, the shit we do is fucking legendary. It is what it is, though. Shout out to y'all. This is a very important transit, y'all, because this is the equivalent of ending a season series of a long sitcom that you saw your parents and their grandparents watching, and moving forward, we're stepping into a brand new season of a new show, of a new network, of a new company, and a new organization. When Saturn was in Aries last time, all right, it followed the 2-year Saturn Pisces period where the major cartoon networks at the time were just replaying old reruns of all the ancient cartoons that you saw with Looney Tunes and whatnot. And then in 96, 97, 95, 96, 97, when Saturn went into Aries, what you started to see was a brand new influx of original Saturn Aries, original cartoons like the Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy. It's happening again. I want you to research what's happening in France, okay? Because the last time Pluto was where it was, France had their revolution after America did. And look what's happening in France. So, like, this is one of the most historical periods of all time. And it could be very tempting to get caught up in what you see happening all around the world. It is a huge distraction. You want to necessarily stay tuned in and tapped in, but don't necessarily take anything you see for the rest of this decade as anything that's permanent, versus just a huge transition period into this new world structure in which we hyper accelerate very rapidly, and transition out of these quote unquote old themes, not into newer themes, but more aligned themes. Anyway, let's get to astrology. So the moon, mathematically, right, we're 27 degrees Pisces sun. Once the moon is like 27 degrees at the end of the moon in aqua transit, we're beginning the balsamic phase. So everything up until this moon in Cap to that degree is the 11th house chapter of coming into the very extraordinary knowledge of transcending completely your beliefs. A transit like this is not only important because it's the highest level quality of a balsamic phase. And just to explain that, the balsamic phase is the period right before the new moon. The 12th house aspect of this releases and surrenders everything you set up when you planted the seeds in a new moon. It's like you're clearing a field so that when we get into the new moon, we can plant new seeds. So at this quality, I promise you, 29 degrees Pluto, 29 degrees Mercury and Pisces, Jesus Christ, with Neptune and the sun closer there, this transcendence of not just your belief in your self-concept, but the capability of your ability to imagine as a vehicle for supernatural exploration and seeing the supernatural existent in the mundane is literally absolutely transcending the bejesus of absolutely everything you have ever known and believed, similar to someone who for the first time ever is experiencing the supernatural and flying. You ever just like, anyone remember the first time you ever had a legitimate psychic experience and it just kind of put you in a daze, like, wow, like this is actually real. There's this type of illusion, okay, that our mind will play tricks on us to make seem new things we've always experienced, but it's that simulation of an experience where you're coming into this, 12th house euphoric nature and quality of realizing that something that was just an imagination wasn't just an imagination. And I'm not talking about something that you felt was possible, something that you felt was fantasy or impossible. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt when I actually read someone's mind for the first time at the humble age of 11 years old, in New Jersey, Bergen County, New Jersey, when I was going to a Christian school. I would tell that story all the time. I was walking someone to the bathroom, and shout out to Mike, he asked me, how much money do I have in my wallet? And I had my left hand on his head, and I heard 21, 21, 21. Shout out to 21 Savage. And this is like 2001 though, or 2002. And I said 21, and he gave me a look on his face like, there's no way you got that right. And I gave him a look on my face like, there's no way I got that right. And then subsequently I tried to ask for like, okay, think of a fruit, didn't get it right. Think of a number, letter, didn't get it right. And that's what made me realize there's an organic sense to this. Fast forward to now. I've written down stuff on a piece of paper twice. I will get this amount of money in this much time. Happen. I've spoken to a planet. I spoke to Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius. Hey, I want $300. A Sagittarius woman in less than 3 hours sent me 250 signatures, right? But I've also tried to replicate these things certain times, and it's hit and miss. And I appreciate that. Aquarius being a science, Pisces being metaphysics, Aqua Moon, Pisces Sun, transcending the science of metaphysics and metaphysical belief, is helping you release the obsolete. A transit like this makes an entire way of living obsolete. And now in tandem with Pluto, Neptune, and even Mercury and Saturn, all right, once the sun goes into Aries, we're going to have the moon on Saturn, which brings a totality to everything you're releasing. There's so much getting ready to be made obsolete in our technology, in our culture, in our society, in our supernatural abilities. And so relative to superpowers, you're in a position where, like in the case of me being able to manifest hit or miss, you know that what you can do is no longer impossible because you've done it. However, how do I actually break through and replicate these results in a consistent way? And you don't want to get discouraged because there's no research institutions for this. You are your own research institution, and you're innovating so much revolutionary aspects of just living that you in this moment don't realize it. Like, people in years from now will be reading about you and writing about what you did. Think about that. All right, we're in a very historical moment. So with that being said, damn, this time is fucking ridiculous. So with that being said, as everything's concluding, let me tell you, this Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer season is going to be one of the best we've had in years. Chaotic, dramatic AF, Leo season 2, but the empowerment you're going to come into is literally like you're building up this new greatest version of yourself, like we do every year. But this level of transcendence we have not seen ever. I'm just going to tell you that right now. And the 29 degree Mercury placement coming into Aries today and tomorrow is so amazing, because this puts you in a position to now, with the sextile to Pluto, extremely process the literal final completion of the belief necessary to, with your brain, process what's hidden in plain sight. Mercury in Pisces helps you read between the lines, because it's not an air sign that processes the logic of things, but it definitely puts you in a position to realistically, as is the nature of Pisces, where Virgo breaks things down into their individual parts, Pisces looks at the correlated whole of how everything connects. And so a transit like this is literally giving you the final piece of the puzzle in the most extraordinary synced in time way ever. You really can't miss it. Even if you do, it'll come back with perpetual reminders, synchronicities, and signs. So really don't feel like you have to do anything. This is the closure of the transit. Many of you are spiritually, with your senses, feeling what's to come, but your physical senses are still processing now. So don't try and figure out too much. I'm impatient as fuck. I literally had a temper tantrum last night with the universe. Like, why aren't I stuff here now? I want it now. I'm not gonna wait. And I'm gonna keep having my temper tantrum because I don't want to wait. But I'll at least be self-aware that I'm being childish as fuck. That being said, allow this to unfold. Okay, have fun with this. You are the operant power. Let me remind you the tenets of not just manifestation, but life. You are the creator of your reality. You are the producer, writer, and actor. And the more you embrace this belief, remember Pisces season relative to this cycle was to remind you that it is worth 100,000% to believe in yourself. And the more fun you have with playing with what you see is impossible and just letting faith show you, not blind faith, but the faith in persisting in actions despite seeing the physical evidence, is what makes motherfucking magic. So that being said, it's been an honor to serve y'all. Okay. A greater version of me is emerging. This physical vessel and shell is like the chrysalis that I've kind of over limited and maxed, and it's time for the next stage. So I can't help but think that's the same way for y'all too. Don't feel impelled to do anything. Action will come with Aries, with the new moon. So before we step into the new moon, really just reflect on every single thing you know to believe about life and yourself. Be receptive to what you perceive, and get ready for motherfucking war, baby. Yeah, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. We about to go into all-out war. And I'm not talking about conventional warfare. I'm talking about cultural war, economic war, social war, basically what's been happening, spiritual war. But the phase of this shifts into where we had a lot of collective energy. Now the energy is coming individual. Instead of interacting with the war you read about and see on the news, it's in your front door. And it's ready to test, are you about it? Okay? All the supernatural abilities that you have awakened the past 12 years are activating over the next week in ways that are latent and unconscious and make you super conscious of. And so that new moon in Aries is the push start button to take action to now manifest the character of the belief in who we know ourselves to be. We finally have that direction set. Y'all stay blessed as always. Once again, this is a legendary fucking transit, guys. You can't waste it. Just don't try and do too much. Surrender to inaction and allow the next step to unfold for you. Maranatha, yo. I just wanted to say Maranatha. Stay blessed. Godspeed. Peace.